Okay, guys, we got Big Tug, Why Oprah Actually Sucks. Now, I have not heard the name Oprah Winfrey in probably 5 years, so I don't know what's going on. But I just know she's the girl that says, "You get a car, you get a car, everybody gets a car."
ExtraTug.com. It's $4 a month. That's cheaper than a Big Mac. That's cheaper than a train ride. That's cheaper than Hulu and Netflix and all that other stuff. ExtraTug.com for exclusive comedy content. Come on, what are you doing? Oprah. Do you remember Oprah? Your mom remembers Oprah. Your mom loves Oprah. She's a television pioneer who gave away 500 brand new cars on her way to building a $3 billion empire. Without a doubt, Oprah is one of the most influential public figures ever. Her daytime talk show was appointment viewing for over a quarter of a century. At its peak, 13 million viewers tuned into the Oprah Winfrey Show every single day. Do you understand how many people doing the same thing that is? People don't do that anymore. Like, I think that the 50th anniversary of SNL got like 18 million viewers or something like that, but like that was a once in a one-time thing. Like, this is every day she was doing this shit. It's just impossible to overstate her influence on culture. If on her show Oprah would recommend a product, that product sales would skyrocket. If she talked about a book, it would automatically become a bestseller. And it wasn't just products.
Well,
like if
I think every book is a bestseller nowadays, so who
she
cares?
had an episode about teens having too much sex, the next morning your mother would corner you and ask you if you were having sex yet. She had influence over every woman on the earth. This kind of influence eventually got a name known as the Oprah effect. But much like the Midas touch, it came with a cost. Oprah kinda sucked. Overall, she kind of sucked, and we were all blind to it at the time. She gave a massive platform to sensationalism, misinformation, and pseudoscience because that's what got her the highest ratings. And because she was seen as, like, the most trusted person ever, millions of her viewers tuned into this
So she was just like the first influencer.
quackery every day. Oprah sucked, and I know it's hard to hear because she was, like, you know, prominent black person who did a lot of good things at the time.
Yeah, why is a white man, the most privileged person on the face of the earth, downplaying a black woman's success? Like, who are you to talk about her, bro?
But looking back on it, we need to understand why she sucks so much, okay? Jumping right into it. Chris, put up a screen. I don't know.
Watch it, watch it!
Oh my god.
So to understand Oprah's popularity, we have to start at the beginning of her career.
Were you silenced, or were you silent, or were you silenced? Ooh, I
While
remember
Oprah's
that.
eventual brand became spirituality wrapped in self-help and a little bit of trauma or something, she started her career in the 80s, doing a more sensationalized version of her show. She rose from obscurity as a news anchor in Baltimore to the host of AM Chicago in 1984. And in just 6 months, she took a struggling daytime show from the last in the ratings to the first in the ratings. So that's nothing to sneeze at. And by 1986, AM Chicago was rebranded as the Oprah Winfrey Show and syndicated nationally. You know how good you have to be for that to happen? That's like someone showing up to
that is like someone just going up to working at a McDonald's, then has become the John McDonald's show.
Good Morning America, and now it's called the Big Tug Program. Like, that's a lot of mojo, baby. Part of Oprah's success was her charm and her ability to relate to her audience, but another part of it was pure titillation. This lady knew how to get a crowd going. Her early fame came from the same playbook as other trashy talk shows, like Maury or like that. She had scandalous guests and unhinged episodes day in and day out. Genuinely, some of Oprah's earliest shows aren't much different from what you'd find on Jerry Springer. On one particularly influential episode, she interviewed adult film actresses and asked them about their co-stars' penises. So it wasn't all hugs and cars since the beginning. She was doing some wild shit, and that Star episode did so well in Chicago market that it became a guiding star for her programming over the next several years. Oprah instinctively knew that sex and scandal would sell. And you can see the blueprint for 90s daytime talk shows in Oprah's 80s output. She had like husbands telling wives that they were cheating on them on air in real time, and then she'd bring out their mistresses. She found child preachers who gave fiery sermons on playgrounds and asked them to awkwardly preach on her stage. And she often interviewed survivors of abuse, got them on stage, and made them talk about really hard things to talk about in front of 100,000 people. These
Damn.
early shows captured the imaginations of audiences by whetting the whistle of our morbid curiosity, but as hard as some of her interviews were to watch, her focus on feelings over accuracy built a rapport with her viewers. Oprah brought a new vibe to daytime TV where she said, a script, baby. I don't want to write down anything before this. She just winged it because she wanted to like ask questions and then respond to those questions in a genuine flow to mimic more of a person in an audience than the host of the show itself. Kind of like another media personality that changed the way we do interviews. It is incredible the similarities. Kind of like another media personality that changed the way we do interviews. It is incredible the similarities between Joe Rogan and Oprah. It is.
Joe Rogan.
I don't know if I have time to talk about that, but I might do it later. But in a sense, Oprah built her billion-dollar empire on reading the room. But sometimes these gunslinging interviews would go off the rails because, of course, they would. And one of those times was when she interviewed the Ninja Turtles. For some reason. In front of a studio audience full of 5-year-olds, Oprah asked April O'Neil if she had any romantic feelings for the Turtles. And then Raphael jumped in and said, Oprah, I've been trying to talk April into an interspecies relationship for months now. What the f*** is going on?
No, it was Michelangelo that's meant to date her, bro. What you mean, Raphael? Oh my god.
Scandalized the children in the audience, not because of bestiality, but because of cooties. But still, it's a problem. But Oprah had a real flair for the dramatic.
Well, I would say, is it bestiality if they're like alive, if they can, like, if they're basically a human? Like, it's not a human, but I think it's like interspecies, you know?
When she interviewed family members of serial killers, she asked this insane question. This is a direct quote, and I will read it now. This is your son we're speaking of, who—
Okay, why are you reading it? Why aren't you letting her, a black woman, the most oppressed person in America, let her speak? Why is a white man speaking for a black woman, huh?
People who tortured them mercilessly and then dismembered them. Do you survive by going into some form of denial, even though they found 40 pounds of bones? Hey, Oprah, what the f***? Why would you ask a mom that? But before Oprah found her footing as a vaguely Christian-tinged New Age champion, she still understood the power of spirituality. I don't know if you guys know about the satanic panic that happened in the 80s. This is when evangelicals were getting all scared about shit like Dungeons and Dragons, like, or Doom, like just things that like involved Satan in some way. They thought the devil was actually working through these medias. And Oprah cashed in hard on the satanic panic. She was a big fan of this shit. The satanic panic was spurred by a Canadian psychologist named Lawrence Pazder and his patient-turned-wife, Michelle Smith. Pazder said that he helped Michelle reclaim lost memories about her abuse at the hands of a satanic cult. The two wrote a book about the experience called Michelle Remembers, which captivated the country. And of course, Oprah jumped at the story because it had her two favorite things, abuse and religion. Now, Oprah wasn't the only host inviting the satanic summoning duo onto her show, but she was definitely the most influential host to do it. And as the satanic panic spread, accusations of satanic ritual child abuse became front page news. Wow. This is ironic because Oprah would eventually be, assumed a child eater by the dumbass conservative conspiracies. So that's funny. She child eater by the dumbass conservative conspiracies.
Child beater?
So that's funny. She brought it on herself. Then in LA, a 7-year—
So we're victim blaming now, huh?
investigation took place surrounding claims that the McMartin preschool was a blood-drinking satanic cult that abused children and sacrificed live babies. Chris, I don't know how much of that you're gonna have to bleep, but do your best. Just look at—
Hey, aren't they thinking that the government does that now, right? The QAnon thing?
the guidelines for YouTube. I don't know. The Oprah Winfrey Show frequently discussed the McMartin trial, and once it was over and the preschool was found not guilty, because of course, Oprah hosted an episode where she once again litigated the case for her audience, because she's an asshole. It was clear that Oprah wanted to milk every last drop from the scandal. She brought on jurors and supposed victims to tell their stories again, and said on her show that if a child says it, she believes it. Which is a good way to look at certain situations, but let's be clear here. The children were saying that they saw witches, mutilated horses, underground tunnels, flying teachers, other children flushed down toilets into secret rooms. Oh, and that Chuck Norris was there, and he was the one doing the—
Really?
Children are f***ing stupid sometimes. I'm sorry. But maybe the most damning—
I wouldn't be surprised that he was a very popular— when was Epstein big, you know? He was a popular actor, so maybe
Satanic Panic era episode of Oprah took place in 1989, where she interviewed a woman who claimed that her family and other Jewish families across the world participated in cannibalism, child abuse, and human sacrifice. And if this sounds familiar to you, it is because it is a racist conspiracy theory with deep historic roots. It's been around since forever.
What do you mean racist? Why not anti-Semitic?
These actually used claims like this to spread propaganda before the Holocaust, so Oprah...
Imagine being able to build anything.
Did you say race?
For any reason, in any style.
Jews a race?
What are you doing? And if you're wondering, Tucker, what's the big deal? This is just daytime TV. Number one, you're a piece of shit. But number two, for context, the clip I pulled from YouTube to get that footage to make the script about, it's from a YouTube page of a wannabe cult leader who still believes what this woman is saying. Giving these sensational stories airtime without proper context is something Oprah would make a career doing. But these types of allegations aren't just entertainment, you know? They ruin lives a lot of the time. The accused teacher in the McMartin trial sat in jail for 5 years waiting for the trial to end. And a copycat case in Austin, Texas actually found a husband and wife guilty of abusing children during satanic rituals. Like, oh, they were found guilty and then they sat in prison for 2 decades until the whole thing was overturned because of course it wasn't real. God damn it. I just don't, like, you have to believe in magic, right? You have to believe in magic for satanic rituals. If you think that shit is real, then you think magic is real. Like, I'm gonna start doing that.
I don't see what you're going on, bro. The satanic ritual, well, no, because that doesn't mean if you think satanic rituals are real, that doesn't mean you think they work or they have any ground in reality. That just means you think they're happening. What is this guy talking about?
When someone brings me conspiracy about,
come on, Tug, stop talking nonsense, Tug.
like Hillary Clinton drinking blood, I'm gonna be like, oh, so you believe in magic? You believe she drinks blood and flies around? You think she's a witch, right? No? Then you're what idiot? You're an idiot. Anyway, while it's easy to see Oprah's sensational content as a precursor to our modern fixation on conspiracies, I'd argue that the way she helps share society's attitudes about weight loss are just as damaging. Now, fat shaming is a bit of a testy subject because some people are for it, some people are against it, and the people who are for it, they're not fully for it, but a little bit of it. But Oprah went full hog into this shit. She was really making people feel real bad about having a little extra pudge. Oprah's struggle with her weight became a part of her brand from the very start. In a way, it was something that made her vulnerable and more relatable to the audience. I remember my mom would watch Oprah and record it on her TiVo. Do you guys even remember what TiVo was? But she'd have all these reruns of Oprah, and she'd know what time frame the episode was from.
How old is he?
Oprah would either be fat or skinnier. Like, she could judge what time it was because Oprah's weight would fluctuate so much. That's kind of fucked up, but that's what my mother used to do. And to be clear, I am in no way shaming Oprah or anyone else for their weight loss or gain. However, by her own admission, Oprah negatively contributed to diet culture throughout her career, often promoting fads that could be dangerous. For example, in the late 80s, Oprah openly talked about her 400 calorie a day
you think she would 400
would diet from a brand called OptiFast.
400 calories? Can you? Oh my god. I think people would die from that.
20 years before Oprah embarked on her liquid fast, different formulas of similar diet drinks.
I know for a fact if Ozempic was like popular back then, she would have promoted that shit to the end.
Caused at least 60 deaths. But using OptiFast, Oprah lost 67 pounds. Huzzah! And she celebrated the loss of her weight by bringing 67 pounds of animal fat onto stage in a wagon. Shit was weird back then, dude.
Maybe
to be fair, there's a reason why she was all obsessed with weight loss. She was constantly ridiculed for her body. And whether that's why she made it a focal point of her show, or whether it was just what drove ratings up is for debate, but regardless, the Oprah Winfrey Show was constantly talking about it. Some of her weight loss shows were triumphant celebrations of people who managed to lose hundreds of pounds. But others, much like Obese Families in Crisis, The Intervention, inappropriately exploited teenagers and their health issues.
There's just something about this guy, I don't know. He just makes me angry. He's just like, I don't know.
Hello, teenage daughter. I see you've gained a worrying amount of weight and a worrying...
It's nothing that he says is bad. He just makes his face... It just makes me so mad to look at him.
Amount of time. That's probably a mental health crisis you're going through. Let's get you on TV, live on air. Let's see how that works out for you. Oprah also often used to ask celebrities about their weight as well. She was pushing the pain onto others. Jennifer Hudson, Kirstie Alley, and even Janet Jackson, just to name a few. And it wasn't just celebrities she was bringing on into this weight loss show. She was also bringing on professionals as well. You guys know about Dr. Robert Atkins?
Nope.
Famous man who made the Atkins diet. which is not
Nope.
that great for you. It was a popular high-protein, low-carb diet, and he was a guest on her show, as well as her personal trainer, Bob Green, who became a regular guest. Now, obviously, Oprah didn't create the societal pressures that were all about fat-shaming herself, but considering her popularity and focus on weight, she definitely put out a message that being thin is the goal. It's like she was exploiting the marketability of body positivity. Then in 2015, she became the spokesperson for Weight Watchers and bought a 10% cut in the company and became a chairman on the board, which led to her making a unbelievably unhinged Weight Watchers commercial about how much she loves bread. Chris, if we could play that for a quick second.
I love bread. I love bread. I have bread every day. I have eaten bread every single day.
Insane, insane behavior from this woman. And even today, with her show off the air for over a decade, she still insists on injecting herself into conversations surrounding weight. In 2024, she hosted a primetime special called Shame, Blame, and the Weight Loss Revolution. The show was basically glorifying the new weight loss drugs like Ozempic. It was like an hour-long pitch of these things. And many physicians interviewed during the special had affiliations with the companies that make weight loss drugs. Predictably, they downplayed the long-term problems that come with using these drugs too much. One of these downsides being that for it to be effective, you have to take it for the rest of your life, which is pretty rare in terms of weight loss solutions. Oprah also said that she uses these drugs, which gave it the old Oprah stamp of approval. And while it isn't wrong to take
I was right. She did promote Ozempic
medication to manage your weight, it is a medication that you have to take for the rest of your life, and there are long-term effects that should not be swept under the rug. So not only has Oprah made a boatload of money,
I could never be on Ozempic. I'm scared of needles. I'm definitely afraid of needles, bro. That's because I haven't gotten even. That's why it takes me like 2 months to just like mentally prepare for like getting a vaccine. And I hate getting my blood drawn too, because I just gotta stand there and like, oh god, even think about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Contributing to diet culture, but now she's piling on to the newest remedy and profiting off of being thin. She's always doing that and always will be doing that. With the shady ethics Oprah displayed in her conversations surrounding weight loss drugs and their safety, morally bankrupt huskers and quacks she entertained on her show. In the 90s, Oprah pivoted from the Jerry Springer-esque shows of like interviewing people who were cheating or skinheads to a new, spiritually flavored focus on wellness. She introduced future Democratic presidential nominee Marianne Williamson to the world. Williamson claims in her book A Return to Love that sickness is an illusion and does not exist. Okay? That's how we're starting. And she also says that cancer and AIDS are physical manifestations of a psychic scream. This woman was a dipshit. Guests like Williamson were common on the Oprah Winfrey Show and served as a precursor to the do-your-own-research vibes that modern New Age practitioners use to negate science. And there are so many examples of this lady doing such harm to the medical community that we're just gonna go through a list of all the quacks she's brought on and all the dumb shit they used to say. First up, Dr. Phil. This guy. Dr. Phil. First of all, not even a medical doctor. I don't know why he gets away saying Dr. Phil. He's not really a doctor. Actually, Dr. Phil was just Oprah's consultant during a lawsuit in the mid-90s. Technically, Dr. Phil has a doctorate in psychology, but he is not a licensed psychologist.
Okay, so he's still a doctor, technically.
So, I don't know how that works out. But Oprah liked the cut of his peanut M&M with a mustache jib, so she started inviting him on her show as a life coach. Unfortunately, his whole vibe isn't very inspiring. His whole shtick is applying ultra-conservative dad logic to every scenario, basically making a career out of telling all of us that we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. That was his only move. He would tell teenagers that, like, you need to get it together. People would clap. That was the entire vibe of everything.
Yeah, get him in the ranch, get him in the ranch.
He ever did. Then in 2002, he got his own show, and since then, he's been accused of, but not limited to, selling drugs under paid sponsorships while pretending it's medical advice, giving booze to known alcoholics in the green room to boost ratings, and coercing drug addicts to buy from dealers off the street in taped segments. Holy Then in
all
2024,
accused,
Dr.
by
Phil
the
embedded
way.
with ICE officers during immigration sweeps in Chicago to make content for his ex account. This guy isn't a police officer, or even a fucking doctor, for that matter. All he's literally qualified for is that one fucking scene from the Scary Movie where he does a Saw parody with Shaq. That is all he's worth, and that's all you should ever give him the credit for. But that's not the only piece of shit that showed up on Oprah Winfrey's doorstep. In 2007, Oprah invited Jenny McCarthy on her show.
It's the most 2000 haircut I've ever seen on a woman.
To promote her anti-vaccine book. McCarthy believes that there's a link between childhood vaccinations and autism, and that her son's autism was caused by
the girl that started the freaking vaccines caused autism shit?
getting the MMR vaccine. I talked about this in the conspiracy video. Vaccine conspiracies have been around since vaccines. People just don't trust getting a needle in their arm, and I get that, but just trust the motherfuckers who's putting the needle in your arm. But this particular claim of the autism shit has roots in the 1998 study by Andrew Wakefield, one that has been thoroughly debunked and caused Wakefield to lose his ability to practice medicine. And even though there are tons of scientific studies that refute the link, McCarthy tells Oprah that her science is her son. She also jokingly refers to her research into the link between autism and vaccines as an education she got at google.com. Through Googling, she says. You dumb bitch! You should not deny well-documented sciences using the same methods I use to make these fucking videos. I get shit wrong all the time! Despite all that, McCarthy's celebrity status increased the visibility of this fringe theory, and she led an anti-vaxxer march in Washington, D.C. with her then-boyfriend Jim Carrey, and wrote an intro for the anti-vax book by disgraced scientist Andrew Wakefield. Now, even though there's never been a scientific link between autism and vaccinations, there is a link.
Grinch and the Eggman? What else? Who else did he play? I know he played other people. Well, Jim Carrey was anti-vax?
Between not getting vaccinated and fucking dying. Before the MMR vaccine was approved in 1963, 500 people died annually from measles. But Oprah said, hey, I love this girl. I love everything she's saying. She's so cool. Give her a show in 2009. McCarthy signed a deal with Oprah's production company, Harpo, for her own show. But like the link between vaccines and autism, the show never came to fruition. However, the damage is done. Vaccine rates are on a decline, and RFK is in the government. So it's all fun. And do you guys love pseudoscience? Do you love bad science and bad people? Well, let's talk about Dr. Oz real quick. My mom loved Dr. Oz when he showed up. Every mom across this earth wanted to bang Dr. Oz in a biblical sense. Oprah began inviting Dr. Oz to her show around 2004. He was the perfect blend for her, a doctor with a deeply weird spiritual side. He actually operated on patients with a Reiki energy healer in the room. Reiki energy is when you put your hands over someone and give them energy. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's magic. You guys believe in magic. Oprah anointed Dr. Oz America's doctor and had him on countless times to promote some seriously misleading and dangerous advice. Of course, a lot of it surrounded weight loss, because that's what her whole fucking thing was, and it was a weird turn for Dr. Oz. Though he was known for his embrace of holistic medicine, he was still an Ivy League educated doctor and was an award-winning researcher. But Dr. Oz seemed to get lost in the sauce of fame, got his own show, and in turn promoted a slew of even more questionable claims and outlandish personalities. In 2008, Time magazine named him one of the world's most influential people. But after years of bogus claims about weight loss cures and arsenic in apple juice, he was called to the Senate subcommittee hearing for consumer protection in 2014. In that same year, a study in the British Medical Journal found that half of the claims on his show were wrong or baseless. Tons of concerned medical professionals and doctors
Dr. Oz dropped by Columbia amid pro-Trump Republican Senate run.
Formally called for Columbia University to revoke his senior administrative position because he lacked the medical integrity. But oops, nothing we can do. Once again, this grifting genie is out of the bottle, and he's now been nominated by the president to oversee Medicare and Medicaid services.
Hey, bro, it turns out apparently he won. Everyone here has won.
So, whoa, man, this is so fucking bad, Oprah. Why would you do this? So, obviously, Oprah's role in American consciousness was just embedding a deep mistrust into the scientific community. And we're starting to see a very real consequence of this. But saying Oprah sucks is complicated because she has done a lot of good stuff. She's done
What do you mean? Oh my god, you literally said Oprah sucks. What do you mean? It's complicated, bro. You just said it.
a lot of good stuff. Of course, she's a trailblazer. She's the first black billionaire in history ever. And she donates hundreds of millions of dollars to charity and disaster relief. And despite its shortcomings, the Oprah Winfrey Show did create a space for dialogue about sexuality, gender, race, conversations that were incredible for the TV at the time. So even though it's not the most popular opinion in our divisive culture, Oprah is an example of two things being true at once. Yeah, she empowered her viewers while also being unbelievably reckless with her show in order to gain more viewers. But for Oprah to achieve success, people had to buy what she was selling, which makes her seem, at best, disingenuous. Oprah's lasting legacy might be the pursuit of fame at the cost of reason. Her influence is massive, and at the end of the day, pretty shitty. The personalities her media empire empowered are slowly working into their way of mainstream beliefs and major political roles. And we might be the last generation who knows better than to buy what they're selling. New videos every Saturday, every other Wednesday.
Go subscribe to Tug, Extra Tug, please. He's a big tug. Go to extratug.com too. Go tug on your shit. Tug on your shit. Tug on your shit, bro. Okay. That's the end of this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Bye bye. Wrong button.